Heyo, alright, so let's talk about how we can actually translate a logo and document its colors. Now you mentioned that none of the colors were matching each other, and sometimes that's okay. If you have a Pantone color, the CMYK might be slightly off, but it should still be 99% a very similar color, something that you can't really tell apart. Either way, let's break down this logo. If we click on the actual sun part that we want to document, because we're only going to document, let's say, this inner sun, we're going to see that it's a gradient. And we can't document a gradient in one of these color boxes because here we're describing one color. A gradient is a combination of two colors. So we're going to, for this demo's sake, just convert this to one color. So let's just choose a yellowish orange and we'll be good to go. I like this and looks great. Let's go to edit. Let's find our actual color mode for this document. It's in CMYK. Let's switch it for now. Here I have the color that's going to be, let's see where we can find this, RGB. That's going to be our hex. This is going to be our RGB. But for this case, I'm more interested in finding the Pantone first and then converting the Pantone to RGB later, since there's more RGB than there are Pantone colors. For reference sake, if we go to our swatches panel and we actually find the color properties or the color books, I think we were discussing solid uncoded in the lesson. So solid uncoded, and here we have all the solid uncoded colors. Now every time you select a new color, it's going to change in the top right hand corner. In this case we have Pantone 509U, and we could document this down here. However, in this case we want to document our orange color, or sun color. So we can go to edit, edit colors, recolor artwork. We're going to recolor using that color book. That color book is going to be Pantone Solid Uncoded. If we click it and then click OK, and then click on the sun that we just converted, you'll see our new Pantone color up top here. So this is Pantone 116U. So I'm just going to write that down, Pantone 116U. And it's also going to be the inner sun. While we're at it, inner sun solid. Just because it's a solid color, not a gradient, just so I don't forget in the future. We can click our little red box and we'll sample this color as well. And now we actually want to find the process and the RGB. Again, process is just CMYK. So I can click on the Pantone color, and over here I will have some conversion options. So spot color, click to convert. It's going to convert it to a spot color. In this case, we can grab the CMYK data. If we do Control Z for a second, we can also convert it to a lab color. There we go. And from the lab color, we can also head over to the options as well and just see the RGB version of this. And we're all in the CMYK version. And as you know, there are more RGB than CMYK and more CMYK than there are Pantone. So most of the time, if you're working in the CMYK color space at least, you'll have the RGB color guaranteed, and it won't really change the color. Aside from that, if we take this and drag it side by side, it's the same color. Even though in this case it should be RGB now, or my bad, CMYK, and this is still going to retain its Pantone color properties. And that's it. That's usually all you have to do for a logo, except in this case, I only did the inner sun. For the skewer logo in particular, you document the solid color, let's say, the gradient, which could also be documented, except you wouldn't do a Pantone version of that. It's your artistic decision how you want to document that. And you do the outer black area as well. If your sun or the mountain highlights are not pure white, document that as well, because any small changes might hinder your consistency in the visual identity. But that's it. This is pretty much your homework from before, I believe. So you just sample this color and document it. Sample this color, document it, and sample the bottom color and document it as well. If the colors heavily change after you convert to Pantone and then CMYK, you should change the actual logo itself, because the client hasn't actually seen this logo yet. So if you change the color just slightly, no one's gonna notice, because you're still in production. Aside from that, if you have any questions, email me again.